Welcome to the Montessori Model United Nations. This video is about committee procedures. In this video, we will go through the entire decision-making process for an MMUN committee session. Beginning with introductions and roll call, then moving into debate and continuing into negotiation, and finally the action phase.
Introduction. During introductions, each bureau member will introduce themselves. The chair will then invite the delegates to introduce themselves by saying which country they are from, which country they are representing, and their goals for the conference. They will also be invited to share if they have been to any MMUN conference before. Roll calls are usually instances of calling out a list of names for the purpose of checking attendance. The committee roll call is similar. During roll call, the chair passes the microphone to the vice chair, who then reads from the list of delegations in the committee. Each country is called. When their country is called, the delegation representing the country stands up and announces if they are present or present and voting. The vice chair marks off the delegations as present or absent.
Now it is time for opening speeches. This is conducted formally with a preset speakers list, as delegations are invited one by one to the podium to share their country's position and global solution to the topic in a 1-minute speech.
Yet millions of children are denied the basic needs for no reason other than the circumstances into which they are born. The delegation of France proposes the following solutions to strengthen the rights of the child. 1. Approve the Defender of Rights to ensure child rights are respected. 2. Establish guidelines for each country to offer affordable health care and nutrition for all children. 3. Create worldwide education curriculum to strengthen not only basic education but strong character.
Globally, 30,000 websites are hacked daily and approximately 22 billion annually. Countries rely on fast, accessible information via cyberspace, and yet this process possesses tremendous security risks. Naturally, this situation generates a great deal of concern by everyone. Therefore, we suggest the following. 1. All states should take into consideration sharing science and technology for disarmament purposes.
We will now move to a formal consultation with the purpose of creating subtopic groups. During this formal consultation, delegates will be creating the subtopic groups. The chair will moderate the meeting, while another bureau member will write down delegates' suggestions. Any delegate can suggest as many subtopics on the topic as they want.
The Republic of Belarus believes a subtopic should be safety of technology.
The evolution of science and technology and how we can monitor it.
One is, how can countries in poverty contribute to any of this?
Russia Federation proposed how to use artificial intelligence in an ethical way.
We will use a color-coding process to help organize the subtopics. Once all the subtopics have been grouped, you can give titles to the color-coded groups. Once the 4 subtopic groups are determined, everyone will be invited to join a subtopic group. MMUN requests that delegates from the same country go to 2 different subtopic groups. Here, a delegate will describe the process of drafting working papers.
We came up with ideas, child rights, their needs, and we sorted them into groups. I am in subtopic group 1, so we are using our ideas on education. And then we have fundraising for family, food, and water.
My group, subtopic 3, is working on food, water, and clothing for children in need. The goal of my subtopic is to find solutions for the problem the subtopic is facing, and we will present them once we finish.
Isn't that bad?
He says supports. Wait, what did you say for the reusable?
Supports the idea of recycling cloth to make clothing for children.
Yeah. Wait, let's switch. What's the idea? Recycling cloth. I like it.
What we're doing is we have a topic of of peace in Central America, and what we're doing is we split up into 4 subtopics over there, over here, and as you can see over here. Each subtopic focuses on a specific issue. For example, this one is focusing on education, and the others are focusing on violence and crime. And what we're doing right now is we're putting our ideas together.
Standards decided by the UN yearly. Decided yearly by the UN.
Maybe write the United Nations.
Yeah.
Now is the time when the delegates present the working papers. It is a formal consultation and allows for delegates.
So right now
to
we're
ask
working on
questions
combining
of each of
working
the
papers
drafters.
to reach consensus on one. So we can. How many groups did you start with? We started with 4, but now we narrowed it down to 2, so we can combine into one.
What is the process of combining?
We negotiate between each other to reach consensus on the first preambulatory, the second preambulatory, and then 7 operatives.
Building consensus is still part of the negotiation phase, and it is a time for groups that did not originally draft the working paper to have a chance to make their edits. It is an informal consultation, which means the Bureau will help guide, but delegates will lead the conversation.
Working paper A agrees with you and wants to request to advises, but change that to allow.
To allow. Working paper B agrees.
We're reading both of the papers and taking what we really like and then finding a way to fit them together so they both make sense. There's 2 paragraphs that are kind of similar, but they're both really good. We're going to want to find a way to either make them into one sentence or change one up a bit so we don't have 2 of the exact same things.
We've come to the last phase of our negotiation process, the line-by-line review. The line-by-line review has several steps. In the first step, we're going to see who are the co-sponsors. And then we're going to the second step, in which we take amendments from non-sponsors. And finally, our third step, in which we negotiate all of the amendment. The amendment process is a final chance for non-sponsors to get their ideas into the resolution. What we're going to do is go through each of the paragraphs and review them and see if non-sponsors want to propose amendment. An amendment is basically a change that any non-sponsor wants to make to the existing paragraph. And here are some examples of amendment. Once all the amendments have been recorded, then the chair is going to go back to the beginning of the document and ask, after each amendment, are there any objections? Any delegate can object.
Acknowledges social media users for teaching viewers about cybersecurity. Are there any objections to this line? Central African Republic?
Since we're changing children, you probably should also change schools. I mean, there are some adults in schools, but like for teaching the people in general.
Now it's time for the action phase of committee session. Delegates will either adopt by consensus the resolution or move directly into voting.
Delegates should be prepared to give an opening speech, be able to negotiate on both topics, bring a global solution, know the difference between sponsors versus non-sponsors, understand decorum, dress code, formal language, behave as an ambassador. Thank you for your attention. Remember to register for the student working sessions in Step 2B and practice with international peers.